I'm Kevin Casey. I'm a professional mixed martial arts fighter. And right now, what I'm about to do is issue a warning out to all other competitors.
I don't want overs. I just expect them to happen.
Fatty's gonna fatty is real.
Oh, give me fucking truth, baby. Come on. Let's go.
Welcome to this week's edition of the MMA Analysis podcast. I am your host, Lance Fischel. Thank you for joining us this week. Good card last week. We'll talk through that. Well, it was good until it wasn't. I guess I'll say the last couple of fights had a little bit to be desired, but overall, I thought working through it was a really good card. Starting off, Brad, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Yeah, last week was all right. I didn't watch any of it until after the fact, so I got to have an objective perspective on all of the people crying, which is fun. But most importantly, you can't keep a good garage down.
Nope.
Glover gets his rightful title shot. I'm going to call us all winners for our prediction that Glover would be the champ at the end of 2022.
It counts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, I think it counts. Shaun, how you doing? You're in, you made up the place. I forget the name of it. You're somewhere that doesn't exist.
Pretty much. Middle of nowhere, Manitoba.
Manitoba. Still don't think that's real.
It's
well,
not.
Good. You're on the oil rig?
Nope.
No?
Nope. Just in the prairies, kind of, sort of.
I forgot what you did again from the last time you told me like 3 weeks ago.
I know, and I'm not going to tell you.
I have no recollection of the conversation, actually. It's not that I forget. It's that I'll ask a question, like, what do you do? And as you're saying it, I stop listening. So it's not that I forget. It's that I don't listen when the answer's being given.
I wouldn't expect anything less.
So don't be offended. I do this
Never.
too. Everyone. It's names I'm the worst at.
I'm very
With stuff
bad.
like that. Like when someone introduces himself like in person or whatever, they're like, hi, and all I hear, whoop, 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 whoop. And then like 10 seconds later, I'm like, what is that person's name? Which I'm in sales. You'd think I would be better at this kind of stuff.
Should be. But
I don't know. You tell us the same stories like 7 times in a row.
True.
So
True.
it makes sense. It tracks.
We all do it. We all do it, shit. Trust me, the older you get to, the more you do it. The more you do it.
We have nothing left. Well, it's because the good times just dry up as you have kids and you get older, where it's like, there's nothing exciting in my life. I do absolutely nothing of excitement. I bet on sports. I watch fights. I play with my kids. I coach some soccer. And that's kind of it. Nothing exciting. And I go to Vegas like twice a year.
living the dream.
Yeah, that's it. Wes, how you doing? I see your camera's not in yet.
No, I don't. I will say I did get a part back that was fucked up. So hopefully soon shit's gonna happen. But now hanging in there, yeah.
I don't know if you knew this. You can actually buy computers that are already put together. I got one. I got a new job, as you know, like 6 weeks ago. They sent me a computer. I didn't have to do anything. I plugged it in, and it just worked.
Yeah, this would cost me like a lot of money to get somebody to build, and I can do most of it myself. Like, why pay somebody like $700, $800, and have all the pieces marked up too? You know what I'm saying? Like,
fine as is. Like,
no,
what
you
do
don't
get
understand.
on this homemade computer?
He doesn't get it.
I don't get it.
Because you don't game or nothing. You're doing your little spreadsheets. You're doing
This
your little.
dude does not
you're doing your
own
conference
a
call.
personal laptop. We don't.
I know.
Electronics advice from fucking Lance.
Shaun, I could never sit here and explain to him what a graphics card and shit is, and he would never ever get it. It goes in and out.
Yep.
He's just got the womp 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 going on in his head right now.
Again.
Right now, I can see him staring off to the other side. He's doing it right now.
I work for like a tech software company, so I'm pretty advanced. I don't know if you knew that.
No, you aren't.
I spent years consulting tech companies, Wes. That means I'm very good with the technology industry.
Nope. You can sell.
You're a salesman.
You're a salesman.
You're a salesman.
You're a whore.
I always tell reps when they're like throughout my career when they're like having a hard time understanding the product or I don't get this, and I go, just know enough to be dangerous.
There you go.
That's it. You don't have to use it. I've sold so many products I've never seen. I can't even tell you. Doesn't matter. Anyway, let's move on to covering last week's card. I'm supposed to break the recaps into buckets, Shaun, is this correct? And then After I break it into buckets, then we talk about it as a whole until we get to the main card. Is that what we're doing?
Just trying to remove as much of your talking as possible.
I don't talk during the breakdowns.
This
is all I got.
Just do early prelims, like the first 3, then let
I know. This is what I told him to do.
And like
he did it once. He did it once when I told him to do it, and then of course he forgot.
Yeah. But shout out to me, 4th and Tout Master with 1 event left.
Get it.
All that tape study.
Incredible.
How many times have I picked a fight I've never heard of the people in it?
That's like 30% of cards now.
It's a good bit, and we started off with one. Here we go. So, bantamweight division, Cameron Simon defeated Stephen Kozlow, knockout 3rd round. The one fella had a swastika, I believe, tattooed on his ankle.
Maybe not. Maybe not. We're gonna.
But to this argument, because I know you said like I'll delete this tweet, blah blah blah. Let's say it's an anime thing. Okay, I'm Jewish, right? If I was like, man, I love fucking anime, and then like you think I'm gonna get something tattooed on my ankle that looks like a swastika?
Maybe the anime's fucked
well,
up.
I will say somebody found the anime that this was supposed to come from. But then, like, apparently in that thread,
Nazi anime.
Another like real anime fan came in and was like, "No, it'd be turned around the other way,
it's backwards."
So
it's
we're back to it might be a covered up Nazi or swastika. Well,
it's totally
was that our dude the MMA trader? Was he the one that weighed in on the anime? I know that's
probably.
his shit.
That is his stuff. Teach their own, man. I mean, some get into that tentacle stuff, but we'll
yeah, he's a Nazi. Featherweight division 3rd round defeated Eric Silva, arm triangle 3rd round, and then finally featherweight division Billy Quarantillo defeated Alex Hernandez, knockout 2nd round. I guess overall thoughts on the prelims for me. Who cares? And then hilarious, exactly kind of what we expected. There's 2 ways to break that thing down. It was Alex Hernandez knocking him out early, which he did win the first, he won it convincingly, or Billy Q taking over with pressure. I think that the call out here for Alex Hernandez, and a lot of guys like this, if you have cardio problems and stuff like that, that doesn't mean you give it, like, you don't change your style. He knows he has 5 minutes to fucking kill the guy. Go kill the guy in 5 minutes. Don't expand your gas tank to 8 minutes. What is that going to do? But anyway, big win for Billy Q and Hernandez. It sucks. But we hit that
consensus under.
Yeah, love it.
Crushing it.
And we got some thoughts on the early prelims.
Just that fight was pretty good though. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Alex Hernandez did go Alex Hernandez there for a little bit, and I'm sure our boy Magic was just jerking himself all over the mountains of Spain and shit.
He was.
But Billy Q, man, he's a tough fucking guy. He's got a pace that's gonna be a problem for a lot of people. I agree with you, Lance. So like, I guess I get coming down to 145 for Alex Hernandez, but you're still the same dude. You know what I'm saying? Use that power down at the 145 and just go all out. Try knocking dude out. I don't know.
Changing styles doesn't work when you have like a gas tank or like. Shout out, R.I.P. to my boy Rumble. He knew. He knew what he was.
Some dudes just came
murder you or he would lose, and that was it. That was his game plan, and that's okay.
And he would make business decisions, and everybody was okay with that because we knew it was Rumble.
Why the fuck did he take brain damage when you could just tap?
Yep.
He's gonna lose ananyway.
And everybody's gonna want to watch him again because he might murder some dude in a minute, and we're all gonna love it. But yeah, R.I.P. to Paul Rumble.
Brad, Shaun, anything to add here?
Nope.
All right, let's move on. ESPN2 portion of the card, we start the middleweight division. We have Chris Curtis defeating Joaquin Buckley, knockout 2nd round. Awesome. Middleweight, Edwin Shabazian defeated Long Ambulance, knockout, 2nd round. Heavyweight, Rosenstruck defeated the Caucus in 23 seconds. Real good showing there by one half of the really good month for the Dukakis brothers.
Really good year.
It's been a good 2022, if we're being
honest. Brad hit it right. Like the campaign is just off. It's off the rails at this point.
And then lastly, 18-year-old Raul Rosas Jr. defeated Jay Perrin. Submission. I don't need to toot my own horn, but nailed all these things. Just too fucking easy. They put the 18-year-old versus the worst fighter on earth, and we got it at -230. obvious on paper. It's UFC. Of course, they were going to set this 18-year-old with a kid that can win. Rosenstruck, hilarious. Dawkins, sorry. Edmund, when he faces guys that suck, he's probably going to win. We saw it there. Chris Curtis, maybe a tad bit lucky on that bad boy. I think we got a bit lucky on Curtis at plus 140 there. He was easily losing the fight and then caught him, put him out. I'm happy. Was that Munich, Brad?
That was Munich. It was indeed. Which means it definitely wasn't lucky.
It wasn't luck. It was just
no.
We knew the result.
Well, Buckley was gonna keep doing the same thing the entire fight. So Curtis always had a chance to land something. He usually doesn't get guys out of there like that, lately anyway. That was nice, man. And Buckley's he's horrible. Like, say it again, Lance. He kicked that guy that one time.
He kicked him right in his face.
That's what Buckley did. Completely wrong about Edmund against a shitty guy. Edmund looked decent though. I guess he looked okay against a shitty guy though. I gotta see more. I don't know if I'm gonna be fading him again and shit like I did with this fucking trash can lung ambulance, but Edmund looked okay. Rosenstruck, when he throws on guys, is decent, but I think Dukakis he's done. Like I don't know what you do with that guy. And Rosales might be good. Like, seriously, like when you can, I know it's a shitty dude, but when you can take guys down like that and you already got like legit submissions and shit that he's got, I mean, hopefully they take it kind of slow with him, but this dude might be 20 and fighting the upper echelon if he wins. Yeah. So who knows?
Yeah, he's not bad. We think of 18, 19, 20 as so young in MMA, but when you look at like other sports, like 18-year-old, 19-year-old NBA players, he's the best in the world. Like, not that he is, but like, yeah, it's weird he's 18 because it's fist fighting, but when you look at like athletics, it's not the weirdest thing we've ever seen.
You're also somewhat protected because he's an 18-year-old at 135 pounds. Like, it's not like there's these massive dudes at 135 pounds that are going to be there to just shit all over him.
The old man strength is a little bit lacking in the 135-pound division.
Yeah. Well,
there you go.
The scary part is, does he have some kind of learning disability? This kid? Does he have CTE already?
I think he's probably he seems a little on the spectrum a little bit, bro. Like,
fight his ass off.
But he'll fuck you up.
Problem at birth, like with his face.
I think he's got like the Bigfoot thing going on.
He does. He's
got a little extra growth hormone coursing through his veins.
Our boy Shout Out Water Show, best base in MMA, just being ugly in school and shit. Like, you gotta learn, man.
Yeah. Yep. Brad, saw anything else to add here in the prelims?
Nope. Wrong on the shitty darts that I tossed, but that's okay because Curtis came through.
Go Curtis.
Munich, what are we, like 47-1 this year on Munich now? And the one is under dispute?
Yeah, it's 147-1 overall, 47-1 this year. Yeah, that's right. Pretty good. All right, featherweight division. Ilia Topuria defeated Bryce Mitchell. Submission, arm triangle. Awesome. Hilarious.
Love it.
Mitchell said he lost after the fight because of the flu. So this guy always, I'm going to die, blah, blah, blah. And then fine all week. And then after the fight, I had the flu. So that's why I lost. But he can't even read, this guy. Like, he can't spell flu.
I thought they were immune to all that flu shit. I thought they just.
Should have got the flu shot.
Yeah.
Has anyone told him he should have got the flu shot?
He ain't no shots. Yeah. Dude, he ain't getting no shots, bro.
He got fucking bodied. Like, that was. And, like, Topuria was trying to kill that dude. Like, I know some people are like, well, you got to tone it down. Like, I think he was throwing extra hard to murder that dude.
He was falling over.
Man. Yeah.
He also
he's wild, but he's not usually that wild.
No.
He was trying to make a statement, and he had no respect for what Mitchell was doing.
I forget the exact quote, but he said something like, I'm going to flatten his head like he thinks the earth is flat.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then taps him out against the grappler. That's the cherry on top.
That really was
sick, man.
So good.
That guy is the real. Like, seriously. I mean, Bryce Mitchell was going through some motherfuckers. I mean, what he did against Barbosa, Otis Barbosa was still impressive, man. And for Topuria to do a guy like that, man.
Yeah, but first guy he's really fought that I can say knows how to grapple.
Yeah. And stop
Definitely.
his grappling, completely shut his grappling down, which was very impressive.
Yep. So, middleweight, Dricus Duplessis defeated Darren Till. It looks like Darren Till also tore his ACL for like the 17th time. He said, I was wondering because I had Till in this one, which I wasn't unhappy with the play. It actually, maybe not to the extent, but it was going kind of how I thought it was. I thought it would, where Till gets fucking dominated, gas out, takes over, wins the fight. And it looked like that was happening. Till went to, he was a favorite after the second round, I believe, and he won the second round. He looked fresh. Then the third round, he comes out and does absolutely nothing. Like, makes sense that he fucked his leg up again because it's Darren Till. But I don't think Duplessis is like this amazing prospect or anything. I thought if Till doesn't get hurt, maybe he wins that fight. I don't know.
Till is horrible, and he has no takedown defense still, no matter who he trains with. Duplessis is okay, but he's just in fun fights. Don't expect more than that. He'll be in fun fights. He does stupid shit. But how Till just sat there and got punched in the face for like 4 minutes of the first round. What the fuck was he doing?
He was doing the Phil Mickelson
That
the
was
whole
awesome,
time. He just
bro.
kept looking up going,
I love getting punched in the face, man. Like, what do you...
Yeah, I don't. And I think Duplessis could probably look a little bit better in like the second and third too if he didn't throw like 900 dumbass punches against Till's arm and his hand and okay. I mean, I guess you got to keep throwing when the dumbass ref is really about to like step in and stop that. Could you imagine if he would have stopped that on him hitting his glove and his arm and shit?
Well, it hurt Till because a couple times after he gave the thumbs up, he actually got hit with a huge uppercut.
Yeah.
And that just shows the state of repping as well. A guy literally has to take 3 uncontested uppercuts so he can give the ref a thumbs up because
you're worried about him stopping the fight. Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Duplessis though, like Shaun said, man, he could be taken down. I think like the dude's wild. If you got some technical striking, you're gonna land on that guy. Who knows with him? He's gonna win some, he's gonna lose some, and be in a ton of fun fights.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah, he's just like a brick wall, and if that's not working for him, he's gonna be in trouble. But in this fight, Till could have had 12 ACLs, and it wouldn't have mattered. He wasn't going to defend those takedowns.
Maybe.
He's a shitty Costa. That's what Duplessis kind of reminds me of.
Really shitty Costa, and not
really shitty. Yeah,
an ugly shitty Costa. There we go. All right, this catchweight. Ponzinibbio defeated Alex Moreno, knockout, third round. Wasn't like he did good in this one, but it panned out in the end. I'll say knockout was fucking awesome. It came out of nowhere, though. It kind of came out of nowhere, but Ponzi was landing more and more and more throughout that second and third round, and Moreno was landing more, and the defense wasn't there. But Santiago was landing a lot more as the fight went on, and Moreno got hurt a few times, but this was just – and then I think Wes said it right. I think he got Bell's palsy from the punch. I was like, this motherfucker's having JR standing up. Ponzinibbio is completely washed, though.
So washed.
I'll never bet on him again unless he ends up fighting Robbie Lawler.
Yeah.
Moreno might have kept going and put it on Ponzinibbio if he didn't take the fight on like a week or two notice. Like Ponzi's done. Like he is beyond washed. I'll take this cash and I'm off. It's over.
That was a roller coaster of a fight because I picked Moreno. I was contemplating betting him. I ended up passing. Of course, I'm pissed that I passed on him. And then he gets flatlined in the third. And I'm like, oh, all right, well, save some money. And that would have been very shitty to lose money like that.
Yeah.
I was the exact opposite of Shaun. I think I picked Moreno on the podcast and ended up putting Ponzi in a parlay because Moreno looked like such a tub of shit. And then I was like, no, but like extra. He was the extra fat cottage cheese on this one. But that was pulled that one out of my ass.
Yeah, I was happy with the luck on that one. I had it parlayed with the main event, so it was a little bit smaller. But the only bet I lost was Till, and I feel like that was almost there. But yeah, Ponzi got fucking lucky, super lucky.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Next up, we don't need to spend an hour on this. We've already talked about this. I think Shaun's more on my side at this point. I'll say. Yeah. All right, and he's the smartest one on the podcast.
Fun.
That's
Lightweight division. Paddy Pimblett defeated Jared Gordon. Decision, unanimous decision. I'll say this. I thought scoring the first round for Paddy was criminal. It's not an it was not an option. I don't think it was. The second round was decently close. We've seen a round like that scored either way a million times. And if we would have switched those guys out and inserted 2 mannequins and they did it, we would have scored that round probably maybe we say 60-40 for Gordon, but we see it all the time going to Paddy. The third round, which everyone's calling like robbery, right? Take the first round out. I know the judges scored different. Let's just look at the second and third round. That's what matters. Second round was decently close. Third round, Gordon landed 4 punches. How is that the biggest robbery that's ever been? He landed 4 punches that round. So I understand there's a lot of emotions in Paddy Pimblett. I understand this, but if you just break the fight down in these little couple bites, the second round, the third round. Second round was decently close. Paddy landed a lot, ended it right. Third round, Gordon did absolutely nothing except stall for 4 minutes. Paddy hit 3 or 4 of those stupid fucking knees. Paddy ended, pretty good the last 10 seconds. Gordon landed 4 punches. I just don't see how that's the biggest robbery I've ever seen when a guy landed 4 punches in a round.
It's not. It's just, I would say you can score this fight 30-27 Gordon, 29-28 Gordon, and then 29-28 Paddy. I think 29-28 Gordon is probably the best card, and you have to give him the first round. The judges, none of the judges gave him the first round. That is what's criminal. That's what's criminal. So he
kind of fucked my argument up a little bit. Like
Pimblett only won because all the judges gave him round 1. That is why it's very bad.
Throw that out though. Let's throw that out for a second.
Look, no. Let me do my shit real quick since I'm the opposite side of this. First and foremost, it's a robbery because they fucked the first round up. That makes it a robbery. Like, okay, then I'm gonna give my point on the other side of it, but it's a robbery because all 3 judges fucked the first round up. So, but let's take that out of it. People want to go to the second and third round. It's more plausible to score those 2 rounds for Jared Gordon than it is to give them to Paddy Pimblett. In the third round, even Paddy Pimblett's doing an interview, and after the fight doing his interview saying, well, I started coasting in the third because I thought I won the first 2 rounds. And then people say, well, Gordon didn't land nothing in the third round. Okay, Paddy Pimblett landed 6 fucking strikes. They were little stupid elbows when Gordon had him pinned against the cage. Gordon landed 4. Those wash each other out. Control still does matter, though. When it comes down to nothing happened in the round.
I think points off if you're going to hold against.
But you're not the rules, and the rules are that's the last thing to score, and that's the only thing that happened in the round. Gordon had over 4 minutes of control, dude. That is insane, man. And besides that, over 3,200 people judged that fight on MMA decisions. 90% of them judged it for Jared Gordon. 48% of them had it 30-27 Gordon. There was one media member
at this point, people are just hopping on the bandwagon.
Yeah. Well, okay,
like, oh, this is the worst decision ever.
No. But I want to say this was absolutely and nowhere close to the worst decision ever. I have seen shit so far worse than this. There's something, and another thing I want to say, something worse happened on Friday night when Danny Sabatello got a 50-45 in a fight by Douglas Crosby. The problem is Douglas Crosby flew from Mohegan late that night all the way to Vegas to judge that fight. Dude, he's there like 24 hours later judging a fight, gets it wrong, gets the first round for fucking Paddy. So he had a scorecard of 50-45 Danny Sabatello Friday night, then goes to Vegas the next day, jet lag, no fucking sleep, and scores fucking 29-28 Paddy fucking Pimblett, gives him the first round. That dude should be out of judging. This there's something wrong with it. There's something wrong with it.
No argument there. And I'm not saying it was a good decision. I'm saying I didn't think it
wasn't a robbery. It wasn't a huge robbery outside of the judges fucking up the first.
Yeah,
it was a very plausible decision.
Yeah,
I wasn't shocked. I'll put it that way. I was mad. I wasn't shocked at all. Like,
I was so unshocked that before the decision was read, I tweeted out, "That's going to be 29-28 Patty."
I just think when you get a group of that size of people that watch every
can
fight,
agree on something.
If they're giving their stuff on MMA decisions, they're signed up for all that shit. They watch all the fights and judge them like that. Not everybody's right. 10% though, out of 3,200 people.
Listening to the announcers, they're reading the tweets. They hate Patty. They want the upset.
Patty's got a lot of fans. No, Patty's got a lot of fans. He's got a following.
Yeah, they're not the type of people that are on MMA decisions.
Zero Patty fans.
They're absolute
when
bros.
It's 90-10 though, you can take a lot of that out of it. When it's 90-10.
I'm not saying it was a good decision. I'm saying it was not.
It's plausible. I get it.
It's plausible.
You find a worse one.
It's plausible until you see the actual scorecards and see the way they got to 29-28.
That makes it
horrendous.
That makes it a robbery, though. Like in that context, that's a robbery in that context. Because the first round is the easiest, clearest round to score in the entire fight.
Fine. Let's say we give it to him. We give the first round to Gordon. Second round, what would you say percentage split? 60-40 Gordon?
You could give the second and third to Patty easily, and everybody would have been fine with that, I think. I think even the people that scored that fight.
Dude, before the cards went out, Twitter exploded. There were people saying this is the worst robbery in MMA history before the cards even came out.
You would have probably still had people saying it was a bad decision and shit, but like I wouldn't have been as mad because I would have got that.
You wouldn't. Everybody else would.
When they showed the cards and they showed that he won the first round, then it's like, man, like, come on. And I don't know, dude. It's just we're talking about this stuff way too often, and with everything going around, like the integrity of MMA and in the fights themselves nowadays, it's not a good look, man. Like I had people that I follow other gamblers that don't really watch MMA, barely bet on MMA. They bet pay-per-views and main cards. And they was literally like, how can y'all bet this shit anymore? Like, this is worse than boxing at this point. So I'm like, it's not that bad, but to them outside looking in, it's not a good look.
And I forget who it was, that Shaun Sheehan guy or whatever, he was like, does all the judging stuff. He scored at 29-28 Gordon when he rewatched it and said it was close. And then he put this tweet out today. And it was two other guys, and he said those are the two best guys, and they both scored it for Patty on rewatch. So if let's say those are the three best media members at scoring fights, they spend time and energy and research. Two of the three of them scored it from Patty. So I just don't see how that's the biggest robbery ever. If guys who study the criteria and all that is as much as they possibly can. And
your premise is all wrong, Lance. The premise is all wrong because if you spend any time or effort worrying about MMA criteria and judging, you instantly lose.
Don't we all usually, though, watch a fight? You usually know who won a fight. We know who won that fight, watching that fight, man.
If the fight happened in a different order, if rounds 2 and 3 happened first, they would have been split, and it would have been an easy decision for Gordon. Because he would have won round 3, or should have won round 3 on all.
He should have. I get it though.
Whatever.
I get where Lance is coming from, and him saying it. Nobody should be shocked. They shouldn't call it the worst decision of all time. I saw some of Ariel stuff and why he was calling it the worst decision ever. He's trying to surround like all of the stuff surrounding the sport and shit right now and stuff.
We're trying. He called him out. That's why he did that.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to put all that into it. I'm putting it in context. I've watched Diego Sanchez win 5 decisions that are worse than that. Yeah. You know,
Clay Guida fought last week, and
that was way worse.
Well, that's why I said there might have been one last week that was worse. Scott Holtzman has a way better case for a robbery than Gordon.
Magic brought up with you. He brought up the Peter Yan fight against O'Malley. That was a worse decision. He thinks this one's worse. That was a way worse decision. Peter Yan over O'Malley over Yan.
I think the part that made me, despite Patty coasting or whatever, this is Gordon's moment, right? He's in his mind, like, let's say he won the first 2 fights. He's landing better in the first 2 rounds, all that stuff. Co-main event, pay-per-view, biggest opportunity of his life. and he chose to push him against the cage for 4 minutes. That's why I don't feel bad for Gordon. If Gordon would have come out and fought the exact same way he did in the first few rounds, he probably wins the decision. He wins the fight. Maybe it's even fight of the night, whatever. Instead, he literally held him against the cage for 4 minutes. So it's hard for me to feel bad for Gordon in this situation. It wasn't Paddy holding Gordon, right? Paddy was useless. I don't know if he gassed or what, but like Gordon chose to not fight for 4 minutes and hold him against the cage. So why am I going to feel bad for him when he made me at 11:30 p.m. watch him fucking push a guy against the cage?
Paddy, admittedly, he's the star of the show, and admittedly coasted in the third round because he pulled a fucking Maheshate in this motherfucker. Just coast, baby. Just coasted. Right. He's the star, and he coasts because he's not worried about any like. You can fault both.
He's so good that he coasted and still won the round.
Yeah,
like feed this man to fucking Topuria already. And
that's a waste. That's a waste.
We're gonna get a great line on Paddy next time because people are gonna start betting against him. No, I mean to bet on him because the UFC is gonna give him a step back, and people are gonna be pissed and they're gonna bet on his opponents, and there we go.
They gave him this was the winnable fight too, though. They thought he was gonna style on fucking Jared Gordon. Y'all thought this was the one too soon. They gave me plus 200. I had to take it. I told him last week. I said I'm at the point. I'm taking over plus 200 against this guy. I thought this was gonna lose. Like this was almost like my free. I think I'm gonna get a better number on a decent guy next time, and we'll see.
Yeah. Enough of that.
That's enough Paddy talk. I did say someone tweeted maybe Clay Guida next for Paddy Pimblett. I think that's a great idea. We don't really need to talk about the main event. It was fucking terrible. I didn't care about the scoring. When a draw came out, I was like, I don't care. I fucking don't care. It was awful. We got leg kick McGee in the first 2 or 3 rounds, and then we got lay and pray the last 2 rounds. Just had absolutely no interest. And UFC fucks a lot of stuff up, and Dana fucks a lot of stuff up. Could they have done this any more perfectly? They called Glover and Jamal Hill before these motherfuckers left the cage and said, fuck these guys, you guys are fighting for a belt. And that was maybe the coolest thing Dana's ever done.
Yep.
It's up there.
On rewatch, this isn't that bad of a decision either. I know there was outrage.
All I'll say is...
There was outrage about this?
Yeah.
Yeah, people said Ankalaev got robbed, but the first 3 rounds can easily go to Jan.
It's just the odds that all 3 of them go to Jan is a bit more sketchy.
He definitely won round 2 and round 3.
Yeah,
definitely, 100%. Like the
round one is the one where I'm surprised that all 3 judges gave it to Jan.
But fuck Russians though.
Yeah.
Also, I'm just as surprised that 2 judges gave Ankalaev a 10-8 in round 5 because he wasn't really close to stopping the fight.
No, if there
Jan landed 0 strikes, and
True.
Ankalaev was punching him a bit.
We just usually don't see those all day. I'm not a big conspiracy guy on anything ever, but if there was ever a time that the UFC phoned into the judges, they go, "Hey, it's pretty plausible for a 10-8 there, eh? A draw? That'd be good. All right." So we'll see. But Glover is fighting for the belt next month against Jamal Hill, a guy that got broken out by Bear Jew. I mean, this could not have been better for Glover Teixeira.
They tried to fuck him. They tried to fuck him, and Karma, the stars were like, no, you're not doing the old man like that.
So good. All right, well, let's jump in and see how quick we can go through these fights. There's some decent fights. It's okay, I guess I would say. A lot of tough names. Bantamweight division, Sergey Morozov versus Journey Newson. Orders fucked up. Shaun.
Morozov probably wins, but minus 280 is a bit steep for a guy that isn't amazing. He's decent. I'll probably pass, but pick Morozov.
Brad? Or Wes? Sorry.
I like Morozov in this fight too, but yeah, it's way too out of whack at this point. If I was to play anything, I was looking at Fight Doesn't Go at plus money right now. Journey Newson is just an absolute scrub, and when he loses fights, he gets his shit pushed in. So maybe a little shot on that Fight Doesn't Go. It's like plus 105 right now. Morozov a pick.
Brad?
maybe someday I'll get access to all my books again, and I can actually bet on more of these fights. But I think Morozov's fine to throw in a parlay here. I mean, Journey Newson's best UFC win is Fernie Garcia.
Not bad.
Dude named after a plant. And Morozov's not bad. He's been in there with good fighters. He's been competitive with them. He's lost a couple of them, but I think that he's probably going to blow Journey Newson out in this one.
Yeah, I think Morozov wins this fight, but I don't know, man. That's a pretty big line for an average fighter, so I don't think I'm going to lay it on this one. So I'm going to pick Morozov. That's going to be a pass. All right, next up, David Dvořák versus Manel Kape. You shot.
I think Kape kind of turned a corner. It kind of sucks that some of his fights have got canceled. I think he had a little bit of momentum coming off those 2 wins. Both these guys have lost to Nicolau. I guess that's not neither of those are terrible losses. Nicolau is obviously very good. This looks to be a striking fight. Kape is finally throwing. Hopefully he continues to throw in this fight because I think he's the better striker. Minus 240. I'll probably end up having to take that in a parlay.
Wes.
Yeah, it is a little high. I do like Kape here as well. I want to play Kape KO. It's a nice price, but Dvořák is usually a tough dude that stays in fight. So I just this price it's a little sketchy with me for Kape. I know he's looked good his last couple against some okay dudes. He's definitely the pick. I don't know about laying that price on him. I think if I do end up playing him, it'll be by KO, which is around plus 160 at, I think, Bet Online right now. Yeah, Kape pick, maybe a bet on him by KO.
Brad?
Yeah, I like the Cape man in this one. I think that he's just fought a much high. I know they both fought Nicolau recently, but he's fought the much higher level of competition outside of that fight, and a lot of people thought he beat Nicolau. I think I remember thinking he beat Nicolau in that fight. I think that he's much better, much more athletic than David Dvořák. Hogs on his side. You don't really talk about Hogs a lot at 125, but I think this is a spot where it might matter a little bit. So we'll go with Kape, and probably to get it done inside because he seems to have found that again.
Yeah, I like Kape to get a finish here, but it also kind of scares me a little bit just because it's him. So he can do some shit. And then Dvořák's, he's an interesting guy. He's got some decent power. He's got some decent subs. And if he gets this to the ground, it's hard to trust Kape to survive that. So I think it's either going to be Kape knocking him out probably in the first, second round, or he makes a mistake, gets taken out, and gets choked out. I like the doesn't go here. It's right around even money. And I think there's going to be a finish in this fight. Usually when you have 2 finishers like this, but it's in the lower weight class, you get a little bit more value than you normally would if it's someone 155, 170 or so. So I like that. Fred, this was not Munich. What was Munich again?
No. Munich is
this
Munich
is the one
later.
I wanted at Munich. Right? Yeah.
And
okay,
you didn't really say this one was Munich.
Oh, I definitely did. You, Shaun? I said it. Anyway, Kape doesn't go the distance. All right, let's move on now. Welterweight division. Renat.
Fuck right off. Fuck right off.
Fakhretdinov.
Fakhretdinov versus Brian Battle. Man, it gets worse. You go up the list.
Wes, mute yourself. Pull out your headphones and plug them back in, buddy. But mute yourself first, so we don't kill our ears.
I said jiggle. Oh God.
It's hard to know what fuck right off if he's good or not. He couldn't finish Michailidis. Brian Battle is not good. He can be taken down. Fuck right off. Probably takes him down. I'm gonna stay away. I've lost some money fading Battle, and that's Wes's fault. So I'll stay away and I'll just pick fuck right off.
It's like when you're flying and you land and your ears pop. It's like when Wes unplugged his headphones.
I muted myself.
It sounds very good now.
No, it's good.
Yep.
All right, Wes. Who you got here in Fakhretdinov?
Man, it's gonna happen.
Your boy.
It's gonna happen again. This guy's horrible, man. You cannot tell me this dude's any good.
And I cashed a bet on Battle.
I know. You'll probably do it again here, but I'm going down with the shit, man. I'm taking the old fuck right off. I think he can get Battle down here, man. Get some grounded pound. I just don't think Battle's very good, man. This line's getting kind of up there. I went ahead and played it at minus 140. It's getting up to minus 145 now. I wouldn't play it anything past that if it keeps going up. I do kind of like a little spot on. I guess we're just gonna call him fuck right off because I'm not even trying that. Not all the props are up, but him inside the distance is plus 230. I'm absolutely gonna take some of that. I've just seen Battle fucking in some bad spots, man. I don't know. They're giving this dude some good fights. Gore had him hurt and then just doesn't throw, and then he's out there choking popping dudes' heads off and shit. Yeah, I got to do it. I'm going down with the shit.
Fakhretdinov? Is that good?
Perfect.
Excellent. Nailed it.
What you
Man,
got?
he was really like basically even money yesterday, huh?
Yeah,
I know we
That's a
fucked
shame.
up.
Yep.
Yeah. That's fine. I don't care about getting in on lines early. I'm still considering betting Fakhretdinov. Man, Brian Battles, he's not good. He's had success over guys who are very not good in the UFC. It's just like, is Fakhretdinov a UFC type guy? Maybe, I guess. I don't know, being able to out wrestle a guy who used to fight at light heavyweight for 15 minutes is not terrible when that's probably going to be his game plan here. So I'll take him. And man, I'll probably end up laying it.
Yeah, I don't like Brian Battle. I actually didn't even bet him in that last fight. I bet the under in the Sato fight. But that was the reason I picked Battle in the last fight was because Sato is so fucking terrible. He's just awful. I don't think Brian Battle is good at all. I don't really know what he's good at per se. I was shocked he just one outed him in that last fight. That was kind of shocking. But Renat, he seems better. I think anyone who can push and grapple Brian Battle is going to give him some trouble, and we haven't really seen that very much yet. So I think this is going to be him grappling, dragging him to the ground, beating him up a little bit. I think on the feet he's probably better anyway, wherever this fight goes. So I do think Renat wins this. I liked him even when it was minus 120, 125, 130. Once it gets past the 140 range, that's kind of like 140 is kind of my exit strategy. On a straight bet, unless it's someone that I just absolutely love. Like I played Topuria, I think at minus 140, minus 145 straight. But Renat Fakhretdinov, not the kind of guy. So, yeah. But I'll pick him in this fight. All right. Lightweight division, Rafa Garcia versus Maheshate. Maheshate?
Wait, so we just had half the Garcia fight after Brian Battle. Half the Garcia
Half the
battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he back?
Yeah.
Is he back?
I hope so.
He was heartbroken. Tisha Torres is pregnant, isn't she?
Yep.
Yep.
Is he back in the picture?
You're married and pregnant now.
Is he back in the picture? Is that how this
Married and pregnant, but she's got Ike Valley Flag's baby. I don't understand what happened there. They said
was that semen in the bags, the bags on his counter, and then he just passed it over to Tisha for the pregnancy?
Jesus Christ.
Is that possible? I'll look into that.
I think that's how it works. Yeah.
Yeah. Maheshate. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Wes, you got to jiggle it again. You ruined it. This is just another crapshoot fight, in my opinion. No one's No one's even shot on Maheshate. So it's hard to know what kind of takedown defense he has. Half of García, for how shitty he is, he does go for a bunch of takedowns. He does seem to have all right cardio. So it's possible that he is able to take down Maheshate and win there, or he doesn't and he gets absolutely lit up on the feet. I don't know what happens here. I'll pick Maheshate to hopefully knock out this fool.
Wes.
Yeah, I kind of like the old Machete here. I think if he can, keep this on the feet, he's definitely gonna have to fight off some grappling and some takedown attempts by half of García. I think if he can, though, man, like García is not great, and this Maheshate kid, he hits so. Man, he's like plus 116 at Bet Online. Like, I don't know. I just think that line's a little off, man. Half of García shouldn't be this big of a favorite, even at minus 130 or so. I might watch the line a little bit, though. It's kind of crept up a little bit the past few days. So definitely the pick, and I'm going to watch the line. If anything, it'd be a play on the old Maheshate.
Brad.
This Machete guy has fought just the worst people that you've ever seen in your life, and somehow has lost to one of them. And it wasn't that long ago. It was like, I know he's young, but it was like 3 years ago. So I think this is the first time he's fighting like somebody that's sort of competent in his entire career. And he's basically even money. I mean, we make fun of half of García on this fight or on this podcast, but every once in a while he bumps it up to 3/4 of a García, and maybe this is going to be one of those performances. So I'm going with Hafa and hoping that he's a grower in this one.
But he already beat the Steve García.
Yeah. Now he's got the other half of the García to deal with, and if
he beats them both, he unlocks. He gets like a Pokemon card. He gets the full García. It's pretty good.
One García.
Andy
García.
I looked at betting this. I can't do it, but I'm going to take Maheshate. Remember that Danny Trejo movie, Machete? Maybe that should be like his little thing. Yeah. This one, I don't know if it's truly, if Hafa García would see this as a grappler versus striker, but it is. If this fight's in the feet, I think Maheshate is going to beat him up. He's going to just work him on the feet. If he takes down, there's no clue what this kid does if he's on his back, and probably has no idea what he's doing. So I'm going to pick Maheshate, but I'm not betting this one. All right, bantamweight. Said Nurmagomedov versus Sadyukub Kakhramonov. Newson?
The cockrammer.
Said fight?
It is a Said fight. My question is if Kakhramonov thoroughly outgrapples Nurmagomedov here, does Nurmagomedov have to change his last name? Because
I hope so.
It's a pretty bad look. It's possible in this fight. Like, Said's not the grappler that some of the others that have that name are. And Kakhramonov seems like he's got some grappling skills. So this is another one where I think I'm just gonna stay away. It's another closely lined fight, and I don't really have an edge on it. I will pick the dog. There's no dog now. What the fuck? This line's bounced a bit. I'll pick the cockrammer.
Brad, Wes.
Yeah, I kind of like this. Is my mic stuff fucked up?
You bet.
Yeah, it works. It sounds like there's crickets inside of your microphone, and you're about to crash your airplane. You're getting
go ahead,
buddy,
we're going
down, and you're on the airplane phone. That's kind of what it sounds like.
Bradley.
So Kakhramonov's already been. He's already been in there with one of these Nurmagomedovs. He knows that Nurmagomedov's way better than this one. He knows what that's all about. and he's the Kakhramonov. I mean, he's got a great name. He's gonna win the Battle of the Saids, and I may even have a Said bet on him.
Oh, draw.
Yeah.
Wes, how you doing?
No,
Nope.
you're gonna have to change settings, Wes. We'll come back to you. You got to go into the settings and change your input to the old Bluetooth.
I looked at Kakhramonov, but then I don't know. Said Nurmagomedov has looked better the last few fights, even though fighting losers. But I'm gonna take Kakhramonov, but I'm not gonna bet him. Wes, how you doing?
Wes is loving life right now.
He's doing
Get a
great.
job for speakerphone. They're great.
This working?
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go.
Sounds good.
I had it muted on my fucking.
This motherfucker.
The old double mute. Welcome to corporate world, Wes.
Yaki was
And Wes is trying to talk to Lance about putting together a computer and shit. This man can't even turn on his fucking microphone.
I never double mute.
Yeah, I like the old Cockman here as well. I think he's gonna get wrestling off. This fight's close to me though. If this was decent plus money, I might take a shot, but the lines come down to where he's a little bit of juice now. So be a pick, but I'm probably gonna pass on this. I was looking at the over. I think it's a little bit juicy, but I think that might be a decent parlay piece because I think these dudes are going to cancel each other out a lot in this fight.
Yep. Moving on to the next fight in the middleweight division. Julian Marquez versus Deron Winn. Shaun.
Both these guys are not good. Marquez is very bad. Deron Winn is probably very bad. Winn just took a couple hellacious beatings. Even still, he probably should be able to wrestle Marquez, not get subbed, and probably win here. It's just tough for me to bet on a 5'4", if we're being correct. Middleweight.
Like
I know it says 5'6".
Shortsism.
Watershell's going to be in shambles when he listens to this.
You can call it shortsism. We're betting on people getting in a cage and beating the shit out of each other. If I have hesitancy to bet somebody who is 5'6" that should probably be fighting at 135, not 185, sue me. I'll pick Winn.
Man, he's thick. You don't get it.
He struggles to make 185. I'll pick Winn, but I don't think I can bet him.
He's even shorter than me.
That's
and might even be shorter than me.
I wouldn't go that far.
It's close. Close.
Yeah, and that dude's looked like death a couple times trying to make 185.
You might want to move up so he doesn't have to cut.
20 like a 5'5", 205er. Wouldn't that be something? Like DC would be as proud as that accomplishment as anything. Darian
Maybe he fights DC. Comeback fight. He fights the coach.
DC's never making 205 again in his entire life. I've faded Winn a ton, man. Like a whole lot. He's gotten me bad a couple times. I've won a little bit. Had just a massive bet on our boy Philly against him. Man, I kind of like him in the spot. I think this is a really good matchup. Marquez does throw some good bombs and shit, but man, if he can get inside, which I think he can, I think he can get some takedowns here, some control on Marquez. I mean, we see Marquez against like Alvey and shit, man. Like he's not great, dude. I just think Winn's got the enough of a chin to get inside and get this fight dirty and get it on the mat and at least get a couple rounds here. So I kind of like Winn as a dog.
Brad.
All right. If I sat here and told you that I wasn't a little nervous about Winn getting choked out in the third round after dominating the wrestling for 10 minutes easily, I'd be lying to you. He'll find a way to get tired and make this way more difficult than it needs to be. But if Maki Pitolo is out wrestling the shit out of Marquez.
You stole my joke. I was going to talk about he got out wrestled by a guy named Coconut Bombs.
There you go. Same page. We're on the same page when it comes to this one, Lance. That third round, it's a little sketchy, but I think the books kind of know that as well. And even when Winn is tired, he's going to be able to get takedowns here. So I think he's going to ride it all the way through. I don't have access to this because communism here in Ontario, but Winn by decision at plus 375 is, but I'll just take some money line.
I do kind of like
some of your books.
I do kind of like the over too. The over's like plus money. I don't think that's horrible at all.
One of the places up in Canada has over 1.5 at minus 133.
Yeah, you showed that to us, and that would be a hammer. Like that. This is going around 1.5. That's a
weird one. I like Deron Winn here. I like him a good bit. I've never been a big Deron Winn guy, and I've actually bet on Marquez on a lot of his fights. I played Marquez either unders or inside the distance a ton here, but I think it's a bad matchup for him. I think Deron Winn has obviously really, really good wrestling, and I'm not worried about Winn getting subbed on top with his base. He has a really, really good base on top. I think if he commits to wrestling and actually does it, which he didn't do in the last fight versus the Hogs, I think because I think his game plan there was if you catch Hogs clean one time, he's probably taking a nap. So I'm going to try to do that. But I think Winn just
forgot he's got arms.
Fucking Marquez got wrestled by a guy named Coconut Bombs. I already said it. And I think Winn can get takedowns. He can sit on top. He can lay ground and pound. I think it's 15 minutes of Winn on top. So at plus money, I love this thing. And this is going to be last second Hail Mary Munich. It's a easy winner. All right, let's move on now.
Final card of the year, shortest dude.
Yeah, got to do it. Short Kings. Welterweight, Jake Matthew Semelsberger. You, Shaun.
I like Matthews here. Showed some really good striking improvement in his last fight against Fiallo. Hopefully he doesn't do too much of that against Semelsberger. Maybe mix in some wrestling because I think he can take down Semelsberger and out-grapple him there. Matthews has shown a good chin for the most part throughout his career, so Semelsberger does throw some heat, so hopefully he can take it if he does get clipped a bit. But yeah, I think Matthews takes over this fight and gets a finish in the second or third. So I'll be putting him in a parlay probably with Manel Kape.
Brad? No, the thing, it's fucking me up. Wes.
Man, I'm back to really liking my dude again, man. I think this is a really good spot again for Jake Matthews. Man, what we saw last time was just insane improvement. Definitely on the feet. His hands looked as good as they ever have. But I'm with Shaun here too. I think he can mix in some wrestling here. I don't know how much he wants to stand and bang with Semelsberger because that's probably his best path is to catching Jake with something. So, but man, I think I got it a little under the minus 250 right now, but I have him in a parlay with somebody else on the card at a little bit of juice, and he might be my favorite parlay piece around that minus 250 spot on the card.
Bradley.
There's a lot of people that have a lot of faith in Jake Matthews once again, and I'm not sure if they've seen this story before, but
we have.
He looks good. He seems like he's turned the corner. He's put it all together now. He's got that look in his eye. And then he comes out and he lays an absolute turd. And I think it's coming off of a fight where, yes, he looked good, but it was against a very noted one-round fighter that he looked good against. So can he really carry that into the second and third round against somebody that's throwing back? Honestly, the only reason I haven't bet Semelsberger is because I don't think he's very good either. He's not particularly opportunistic, and I don't think that can necessarily take advantage of those openings that will be there from Matthews, but I'm not in the business of laying, what is it, like minus 260 or whatever on Matthews. Yeah, not for me.
Random question. What happened to Anthony Rocco Martin? Did Lloyd Irvin like fuck a hole in the back of his head and he had to retire or something?
Who's that? The funny man?
Tony Martin.
Is that the same guy as Tony Martin?
Anthony Rocco Martin.
No, we're not calling him that. Not happening.
He changed his name. Remember?
I do remember.
What happened?
I remember me specifically saying he lost a bunch of fights. He got cut.
They cut him, and then he's fighting on the regional scene now.
Cut him, wasn't he? Like he had won like a bunch.
He lost to Neil Magny. You get cut.
Fair.
He did make us some good money in his UFC stint, I think.
I bet him a handful of times. Anyway, I like Matthews here. I think his striking, you don't want to overuse it when your striking improves when you got some good grappling. That we've seen that happen. Hopefully that's not the case here, but I think Matthews improved striking to go with his grappling, and I think just settling in. I think he got moved up pretty quick at a very young age with a very bad father pushing him and yelling at him all the time, and I think he just maybe come into his own, and I think this is a very winnable fight. Easy. I'd say maybe not easy, but he should win this fight way, way, way more often than not. I think he's better everywhere here. I think if it stays in the feet, it's Matthews. I think if we go to the ground, it's Matthews. And at minus 250, minus 260 or so, I'm comfortable laying that. So I will be on Matthews here. All right, women's strawweight. Jane Vlismas, Corey McKenna. Group effort. Anyone got anything?
I know you're supposed to pick the dog, but I can't pick a dog that has a 4'10" reach.
That's not a lot.
The dog,
right.
Shaun. Come on. The other chick got head and armed for 15 minutes. Couldn't do anything.
The other chick has a 4'10" reach.
I almost
need to reach her for a head and arm.
I always take the favorite in chick fights because usually if I don't know who the people are, I just take the favorite. So I'm not overwhelmed in the pool.
It's working for you.
Apparently. All right, let's move on. Main card, middleweight division, Michael Oleksiejczuk versus Cody Brundage. New Shaun.
Yeah, Oleksiejczuk is I've kind of backed him a bunch throughout his career. It's kind of not worked out a couple times. It's hard to know what that last fight means. I mean, he absolutely washed Alvey as he should in his drop to 185. Cody Brundage, not good. Oleksiejczuk likely puts him out of there. But that's a pretty big number on a guy that, sometimes just doesn't show up.
Yeah. Wes.
Yeah, I mean, I think two back though, like going 15 minutes of a kickboxing match with Dustin Jacoby isn't horrible nowadays. And the two kind of bums he fought before then, he got one out of there. I just don't think Brundage is great, man. He's going to absolutely have to get consistent takedowns in this fight. And I won't say Oleksiejczuk's got like great takedown defense or something, but I think he does got really good footwork, and he can stay on the outside. He can move around. He can get in and out, land his shots. And man, he hits hard. Just for a guy that's not a big dude at the weight class, he's still got some power. So I just think he can keep this on the feet long enough to where, Brundage's gas tank is absolute shit. If this goes 15, goes into the second and third round, I think Oleksiejczuk can get a second or third round KO here, and that's right around even money. I like that spotter. The old Candyman by KO.
Brad.
I'll go with the Candyman as well. Brundage seems to get hurt by anybody that he's in there with. Just not a lot of faith in him to do a whole lot of anything. I think he'll try and get this to the ground, but the Candyman's got decent enough takedown defense. He'll rip to the body. I think he's finally down at his right weight class, and it's going to make a difference. He's not just going to get overpowered by dudes, which is generally what's happened to him aside from the Jacoby fight. It's just been much bigger grapplers who have been able to take him down and kind of dominate him. So Candyman. I don't know, maybe parlay with Morozov or something.
Yeah, I'm a bit torn on this one. I just envision him getting a takedown and subbing the Candyman, who's been subbed several times, awful on the ground. Brundage has some chin issues. His striking is not good, but he's a big dude and he's pretty strong on top, and he has finishes from that top position. So it's kind of hard not to take a peek at Brundage. Inside the distance, I think it was like plus 365 on Brundage, and I feel like that's a decent number. Like his gas tank's not great. It's going to be Brundage in the first round and a half, or he's getting knocked out, or if it goes longer, that's definitely Candyman there. So I don't know, slight lean on Brundage here. Not sure if it's going to be a play, but I think at that line, he might be worth a shot. All right, lightweight division: Drew Dober, Bobby Green. Fuck Bobby Green. You, Shaun?
I kind of wanted to bet Bobby Green, but
No, you didn't. Move on.
Drew Dober really only loses to guys who can grapple, and trusting Bobby Green to grapple is money poorly spent. This looks like it's going to be a kickboxing fight. Drew Dober has big power. He's got good striking. Bobby Green's going to get hit a bunch, shake his head, and lose a decision. Even looking at Dober by TKO, it's only plus 200, and Bobby Green is fairly durable, so I don't even like that. So this is just a stay away. I'll pick Dober to win the decision.
I mean, I like Dober here. Trusting Bobby Green to do anything that you want him to do in a fight. You might as well just light your shit on fire. I think this turns into a kickboxing match, and I just think Dober lands the bigger, harder shit. I'm probably not going to get Bobby Green out of there. Like Shaun said, Bobby Green's going to do a lot of shaking his head, and that didn't land. And while the whole time he's getting punched in the face, and probably going to lose a decision here, but I'm just laying it on Dober minus 150 bet online. I like Dober in this spot. I think he wins this fight.
Brad.
Yeah, I'm trying to kind of look at a way to attack this fight, and I don't really have anything. I think it could get a bit tricky for Dober just because Green does put on weird fights. He's got good defense, and eventually he's going to do something stupid that's going to blow that all up in his face. But I think, if people want to take a shot on Bobby Green here, they're idiots because it's Bobby Green. But there are worse bets to be made on the card. I can't do it, though. I think that Dober's going to get cracked, and it's not going to move his massive jaw. And then Green's going to get cracked, and he's going to do a dance routine for 30 seconds. And that's kind of going to be the difference. But both guys are going to be landing in this fight.
I like Dober here. I think minus 150 is actually kind of low. I think Bobby's. I think he's done. I really do. He's, he got that big step up. He got the Maheshate fight on short notice. He got killed, and it's now what's for Bobby. He got busted for steroids. He sat out. What's left for this man who doesn't seem to be highly motivated in most cases anyway. I'm not sure how the chin is with Bobby Green. I know he's always had a good chin, but he's getting up there. He's starting to get hit a little bit more, and Dober he's got scary power, man. He can finish guys who usually don't get finished. I think he's won 5 or 6 straight by knockout.
Those last 2 fights are just, whew, man.
He's just saying fuck it. He's Dober's a bit in fuck it mode right now, and funny enough, that's the best strategy I think to beat Bobby Green, because he's gonna do the dance and he's gonna do the weird shit. If you just say fuck it, I'm gonna punch this guy in the face a bunch and finish him, probably gonna beat Bobby Green. And I think that's what Dober did. I think he's the better overall kickboxer. I think his power is 10x, and I think he's going to land on Bobby and put him out of there. And if he doesn't, I think he's going to hurt Bobby several times, and I think he's going to easily win a decision here. I think at minus 150, it's way short. I probably would have priced this around minus 250, minus 300 on first look at this fight. So I like Dober here a bunch. I'm going to be parlaying him with I think Matthews or someone on the card. I haven't knocked out the parlays yet, but he's definitely going to be a piece. All right, by the way, division, Alex Caceres, Julian Erosa, Juicy J.
Yeah, if I would have told you that I'm looking at parlaying Julian Erosa a year ago or 2 years ago, you would have check to see if I had a car accident or something, because that would have been wild. In this fight, like he's turned into a decent grappler. I think he can get on top of Caceres. Caceres' bottom game is not really that impressive, and on the feet, I think he's better. I think he can outstrike him on the feet if it gets a little too sketchy on the ground. So regardless, this fight looks like there's going to be a finish. Erosa, for the most part, is a finisher. He can also get caught. So the under 2.5 is at like plus 150 at dimes. There's some other places that's, plus 140, plus 130. I think those are good numbers. I don't think this ends, or I don't think this goes to decision. I'll be parlaying Erosa small and playing the under bigger.
Wes?
Yeah, I don't know if I could ever get to the point of parlaying Julian Erosa, but yeah, I do think this is just going to be a wild fight, man. But both of these dudes put it out there every time now. Caceres has gotten a lot more exciting here lately too. Erosa every time out, just crazy fights. Yeah, it's hard for me to pick a side, man. I lean Erosa. He's definitely the better guy on the feet for sure. This gets on the mat though, man. I know Caceres isn't great on the bottom, but he gets scrambly, man, and stuff, and he's landed on dudes. And Erosa puts himself in just wild positions everywhere he's at in a fight. So if Caceres snatched some kind of sub, would I be shocked? Absolutely not. I lean Erosa, probably getting this done on the feet, catching Caceres with something, hurting him, maybe getting him in a sub after that. But I love fight doesn't go, man. It's like plus 125 now. I think that's something you got to play in this spot. Both these dudes are gonna get wild. Somebody's gonna get finished.
Brad?
Yeah, I like. Well, I don't know that I like it, but Juicy J's good. Like he's turned into a good fighter.
Yep.
I know that Caceres has had his little streak and been pretty successful over the past few years, but he's been fighting a lot of plumbers during that period of time. And Juicy J's actually been fighting some good guys and been competitive or won a lot of those fights. So he brings it every time. The guy's fun to watch. We used to make fun of him because he had absolutely no chin. I still don't think he has a great chin, which is why the under is very appealing. But honestly, I think he's going to get to Caceres in this. He's going to come forward. He's going to throw shots straight down the pipe. He's going to throw knees. He's probably going to hurt Caceres, and then he's got a bunch of good front chokes when Caceres tries to dive in and get grappling going. Or if Caceres does get that grappling going, he can take your back and choke you out. So I see lots of ways for this fight to be finished. I think more likely than not, it's Juicy J that gets that finish. So I'm going to take the under or the doesn't go at plus 125 and some Juicy J inside at plus 300.
Yeah, I could see this fight playing in a lot of different directions, and that's similar to Brad why I like it doesn't go here is there's just a lot of options. I think you could see Juicy J obviously subbing Alex Caceres. I'm pretty sure if I got into a decent position, I could choke Caceres out. I think even though Erosa, I don't think he's ever been subbed, but Caceres gets some weird shit, man. Like Wes said, like he gets in these weird positions, weird scrambles. He's got some unorthodox finishing maneuvers on the ground. He's pulling out subs he shouldn't before. I could see either guy getting subbed. Juicy J just absolutely no chin. I don't care if it survived a little bit. Caceres, not a big power guy, but he can hit hard at times. He's got some weird kicks that come in weird directions. So I could see, and also I could see Juicy J, his power, it seems like he's getting more power. He's hurting guys in the feet. So I could see Juicy J win knockout. So I could see any of the four combinations of the finish here, which means it's going to be 15 minutes of nothing. But just in case it's not, I like it doesn't go here at plus 125. From an actual pick, I think it's going to be Juicy J getting the sub here. I think that's the most likely scenario. If you're looking at a little bit extra, that's plus 550 I saw in Juicy J sub. But I think it's a good number. Caceres isn't getting knocked out all the time, and Juicy J has a ton of subs to his name, so I think that's a decent price in that. But that'll be the consensus bet of the week. So yeah, we had a winner last week. We'll get a winner this week. So boom, last consensus of the year. Let's move on now to the flyweight division. Amir Albazi versus Alessandro Costa. Shaun, who are these people?
Albazi's pretty damn good. He's going to smash him.
Okay.
Parlay with UCJ.
Wes.
Albazi destruction parlay with Matthews. I got it at -133.
Brad?
Yeah, I don't even know who this other guy is, so Albazi's pretty good. He's probably going to grapple and get the job done here.
Yeah, I've bet on Albazi. I think I've bet him by inside all his fights. So I think I've won a few and lost one, but he's good, man. He's kind of nasty on the ground, and I think he can get the fight there. I don't know much about Alessandro Costa, but he's been fighting just fucking losers.
Shitty split. Yeah, shitty split win on the Contender Series, and they didn't even bring him over.
And he's been in the Lux Fight League.
And that's when Dana was signing like everybody last year. Yeah. Like if you won, you was getting signed, and this dude, it was a horrible fight.
And he's been in the Mexican League or whatever.
Yep.
So, Albazi, he was like a real decent prospect. So I like Albazi here. I'm gonna have him parlayed with someone else on the card as well. All right, co-main event, lightweight division. Arman Tsarukyan versus Damir Ismagulov. You, Shaun?
It's a tough one. Tsarukyan is very good. We've been talking about him for a while. Ismagulov is obviously fought the way lower competition. He stuffed a shit ton of takedowns from Kutateladze, who's a pretty damn good grappler. I think Tsarukyan is better, but if this is on the feet, Ismagulov's a lot better than Tsarukyan, even with the jump that Tsarukyan has taken in the stand-up. I haven't decided if I'm going to bet this, but I actually think I'm going to pick Ismagulov to keep it on the feet and win the striking.
Wes?
Yeah, I think it could be a really close fight either way. I lean Tsarukyan myself. I think he can get inside a little bit and get some clinch work in and maybe dirty this up, get it to the mat. I mean, if he can't, Ismagulov he's the longer dude and uses his length good. He throws a couple shots at a time. I'm just not sure he can even do enough on the feet though. If Tsarukyan's landing, he's gonna probably be landing with the bigger power stuff. So I just don't know, man. I think this is a really close fight. I like Tsarukyan, but I still haven't been able to bring myself to because you're gonna have to parlay him with something, I think, and I just don't know if I want to lay that kind of price with him coming off that Garmont fight. And I think Ismagulov is a really tough test. So Tsarukyan's the pick right now, but I don't know if I could lay a kind of price right now.
Brad?
I don't know. If you do Tsarukyan and Albazi, I just clicked on Bet Online. It's -110. So you're basically getting even money on Tsarukyan, which I think is a pretty decent spot here. I'm sure if I looked more, I could find a better spot for that. But I just don't see, even if Ismagulov is having success keeping this on the feet, I don't see him doing enough on the feet. He might be the better striker, but he doesn't have enough power to stop Arman from coming in and just getting busy and getting into clinch grappling exchanges and beating him up in the clinch and maybe getting a takedown or maybe not, maybe like striking off of the breaks and stuff like that. He's just going to stay way busier. And Ismagulov, he kind of showed he can do that for the first time in his last fight, stay a bit busier in a fight and have a bit of an exciting fight. But he went life and death with Guram to do it. And I think that Arman is kind of better everywhere than Guram. So I like Arman here. I think he takes a decision. Hopefully we get another decent fight out of Ismagulov because they are few and far between.
Yeah, I'm more with Brad here. I'm not worried about this one. I like Tsarukyan a good bit. I actually had Tsarukyan and Albazi as a possible parlay as well. Tsarukyan just seems like he has it. I don't know. He seems like he finds a way. I know that the Gamrot fight, which was super close, you could have scored that one either way, and Gamrot's obviously a top guy. Finishing, I can't get out of my mind that Joel Alvarez fight. Like, that's the guy that I can picture, and I kind of see something like that happening. I think he can get takedowns here. And I think when he gets takedowns, he gets on top. His ground and pound is just ferocious. And, I don't think the striking is going to be that much over the top. I think it's going to be maybe it's 55-45 with the striking, but the grappling is going to put it over the edge for Tsarukyan. I just think he's the better fighter here. I haven't been impressed with Ismagulov at all. I think he's struggled at times. He hasn't looked overwhelming. He doesn't do anything great. He seems to be average at a lot of things, but Tsarukyan seems like he could still be that elite talent in this division. And I think getting this at minus 175, I was kind of surprised about that line. So it's going to be Tsarukyan for me. All right, moving up, main event, middleweight division, Jared Cannonier, Shaun Strickland. 38. Did you know that? Coming off a lost title fight, hopes and dreams gone. Just some thoughts.
Seven new crystals. Don't matter. He's like 25.
I mean, he did beat Calvin Gastelum and Derek Brunson to get a title shot, though. So, I mean, it's pretty impressive.
How fitting is it that the final fight of the year is incel Shaun Strickland and Jared QAnon?
Perfect fitting. If only the Nazi tattoo guy was the co-main.
Maybe he can be the special ref.
He's probably in Cannonier's corner, just to really make it real fucked up.
Oh, this is a tough one for me. I lost a shit ton of money on Strickland in the Pereira fight. He's an idiot, and he's doubled down on his stupidity after the fact. You make good points on Cannonier. Guy coming off, he's not getting a title shot again. Lost that. Wouldn't throw in it. He just kind of coiled up and wouldn't do anything. Wouldn't strike. Could he do that here? It's possible. I don't think he's taking down Shaun Strickland. He's got good takedown defense. Strickland throws some jabs in his face, and Cannonier just kind of stops throwing. If it gets to plus money, I'm taking Strickland. If it doesn't, then I might just leave it alone.
Wes?
Last fight of the year, he's gonna leave it alone. He's so full of shit.
I'm only up. I made my units. I'm all right.
Sean's gonna end up with 53 units on Strickland to end double or nothing.
Let it ride.
Total.
Yeah, I do think it's a close fight. The old Crystal Man did like the whole moment just got to him for a title shot. He absolutely froze. He wouldn't throw anything. I don't think any pressure's on him in this fight whatsoever. He knows he's probably not going to fight for a title again. You're betting on Strickland, man. You're betting on a dummy. Like we talked about Bobby Green earlier. I lost a grip on Strickland against Pereira. Did got a lot of it back in his next fight, but man, that was just a stupid bet. I'm not sure Canyon can get takedowns here, but I think he can get fence control and shit on Shaun Strickland. Shaun Strickland can be backed up into the cage a lot. He's so slow-footed. He doesn't use any sort of movement and shit. So if Cannon can just not get obliterated by something he doesn't see, I don't know. I think he can make his fight close. And he was the dog at like plus 105, so I took a tiny bit of that. I think it's a close fight, man. If Strickland, barely outlands him and takes a decision here, not going to be surprised. I just don't see Cannon freezing again like he did when he was fighting for a title.
Brad?
So not only does he not have to worry about what Wes is talking about, but he's going to have a guy who is literally marching forward as slow as possible, hands down, occasionally throwing jabs coming at him. Like, if he doesn't throw back, if the Cannon doesn't throw back in this
he's
fight,
never throwing back.
then he's never throwing against anybody. And I think, this is either going to be 25 minutes of what I just said, Strickland coming forward and throwing jabs and probably landing a bunch of them, or at some point during that, or several points during that, Cannonier is going to land big shots at basically a stationary target in front of him. And I think it's more likely that he's going to land some big shots. If they get into too much grappling, I think he's okay. I don't love that path for him, but he's going to be much stronger than Strickland if they get into the clinch. I think Strickland's actually the better wrestler of the two of them. But man, it's a lot of power for a guy whose defense is as bad as Strickland's is. So I think that at some point he's going to eat another shot in this one. And Strickland's made me a bunch of money in the past. It's just he's got seemingly to me a very clear ceiling once he gets towards the top of the division. So plus 107, Cannonier.
Yeah, I agree with the last statement. Once you get towards the top of the division, I think that does outdo Strickland. I think the lack of finishing ability and defense and all that definitely comes into play. I think also people are looking too much into the Alex Pereira fight, who got knocked out by Alex Pereira before that. Before that fight, he probably would have been minus 200 versus Cannonier in this spot. And I still think Strickland is good. I still think he's good, and I think he can beat a 38-year-old Jared Cannonier. And I think Cannonier works his ass off for 10 years to get that title shot. He's 38. He gets the title shot and just literally wouldn't fight. There's no telling where he's at mentally right now. And he's already a moron. Like, you've heard this guy talk. He's an absolute fucking space cadet. Do you think he's mentally strong enough to come back after what the fuck he just did for 25 minutes, knowing that he'll never get a title shot again? I think a mental midget like that can't get through those big things. So I like Shaun here. I think we're going to see the same Cannonier we saw last fight. He's never been this guy who's going to throw a lot of volume. He's never been that. And I think Strickland's going to pressure him, and I think Strickland's going to lead with the jab and does what Strickland does, and he's going to just outpoint him for 25 minutes. And Cannonier, I don't know if he's going to gas out if there's no pace, which there might not be, but I think Strickland's just going to land more punches, and Cannonier's going to watch him and, Marjorie Green Taylor, everything, all kinds of good stuff going on in that man's head. So yeah, I like Shaun Strickland here. I think it's minus 110, minus 115, whatever it's at. I think that's some value here. So as the last, Shaun Strickland, former neo-Nazi, the guy that I'm betting on the last fight of the year just to be fitting ending. So that'll do it.
That could have been Munich, Brad. What are you doing, man? You're like the perfect Munich.
Bob Arum said it best. We are betting on homosexual skinhead fighting. So
very, very true. Well, that's a perfect way to end the fight. Are we doing? I don't know. Are we doing a year-end show?
First week of January.
We'll do a year start show.
Yeah.
Because the next card's not till like the 14th or something like that.
Okay. I'm out of town. Let's see. Yeah, we'll figure it out. I can do the first week. I can't do the second week. So sweet. Well, I hope everyone has a good Christmas. Happy New Year. Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever QAnon people invented, that kind of thing. Well, Marjorie Green Taylor, but
Christmas.
Christmas. No,
but with a Q.
With a Q, yeah. We thank you all for listening. We've really enjoyed it. Thank the Hammer Betting Network for having us, and we love this partnership. And we will be back next year for our start of the year show with fight predictions, and we can really see how stupid we were about the champions that we predict each year, because we are always incredibly wrong. So that'll do it. Thank you for listening.